It's what trucking is now. It's what commercial vehicles will be over the next couple of decades. And so if you're here and this is your business and this is what you want to do, then you're going to be in this mess. So figuring out how to make good choices and help your fleet be as successful as possible in what we're doing should be fun. And it's what our jobs are. And so take it seriously, but have fun with it and learn and come out the back end very successful.
Electric batteries, natural gas, hydrogen, biodiesel, traditional diesel. Today, more than ever, there are a lot of ways to move a truck. But what are they all, and how do fleets choose? I spoke with the executive director of the North American Council for Freight Efficiency for his thoughts. Mike, thank you for talking with me today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to walk through these things. NACFE, we've been working on alternatives and ways to be more efficient, save money, and create less emissions for a long time.
Yeah, so what are some of the major options that commercial carriers are using?
Yeah, so there's, I always like to talk about that is what's available now and what's coming fast. And so the coming fast, in our opinion, is battery electric and hydrogen. They're the true zero emission solutions that can be zero emission at the tailpipe, as well as completely renewable from a fuel standpoint. But they're not really available now, except in some, certain segments of the market. We'll get into that, namely little trucks, vans, step vans, medium duty box trucks, and short distance heavy trucks. There are other solutions that are emerging that many are really old, but we believe we can scale to make the industry much more sustainable. So that would be natural gas with its, really good alternative renewable natural gas, which is trapping the methane that's already doing our environment a hazard, trapping that and using that to displace petroleum diesel or petroleum-based natural gas. And so renewable natural gas is a great solution for many, even long haul solutions. And then we've got biodiesel and renewable diesel, both having very small usage today, but could grow. Would never be able to replace all of the diesel we burn in heavy trucks or even all the commercial vehicles because there's just not enough of the feedstocks for it. But those are some of the solutions. And then we may have some others emerge. So like hybridization, and we've seen in cars, we thought cars would all go battery electric, and now there's a lot more hybrids happening in automotive and might happen in trucking as well. But you know, it's one thing to have a bunch of solutions and being able to pick, and then there's another thing when it just gets almost too much. And I'm concerned that we're in that almost too much. It's like a menu at a restaurant. We want more than just fish. Sometimes we want beef, sometimes we want chicken. But if that menu gets to be 3, 4, 5, 6 pages long with every sort of pasta and every sort of meal, then it's just too much.
What are some of the pros and some of the cons of these many different options?
Well, we're replacing diesel at all of the trucks. So, 200,000 heavy trucks a year, 300,000 heavy class 8 trucks a year, another 400,000 class 3, 4, 5. So diesel's done all of that. So right as we look into the future, there's going to be some natural gas, some diesel, some battery electric, some hydrogen trucks. So the volume is going to decrease and that's going to raise prices. The batteries can be expensive. Electric motors, although used in many areas of life, are also can be expensive, but we're replacing expensive engines and after treatment and so forth. But cost is a challenge here, especially in the early days of these new alternatives, and infrastructure as well. So whether we're charging battery electric trucks or filling with hydrogen for hydrogen fuel cell or hydrogen engine trucks, or for that matter, natural gas and biodiesel and renewable diesel, although more like diesel in their infrastructure, still have a lot of things to overcome. So infrastructure costs are the big challenges. I'm glad you asked about the benefits because there are a lot of benefits to many of these trucks that people don't either recognize or even kind of want to hear. So things like drivers loving battery electric trucks. I mean, they are much easier to drive. We will be able to train new truck drivers much easier with these battery electric trucks. I mean, no gears to shift through, no rocking of the cab, and they're easier, they're more comfortable, and that will be a significant benefit, I believe, going forward as we continue to try to find truck drivers. there are other benefits too, with just zero exhaust, and the trucks now can become much more useful and can go into buildings. They can be warmed up inside of buildings where and traditionally you couldn't start these trucks up and idle them inside of a facility for very long. So there's a lot of benefits that we document in much of our research that I'm really excited about going forward.
Speaking of your research, what is NACFE doing to help evaluate these technologies?
Yeah, so we do a number of things. We have what we call confidence reports, and these are reports on available technologies that are in there, that are trying to scale. So a good example of that is a report we published a couple of years ago on natural gas. So there's a confidence report on natural gas trucks. And so that is what confidence should fleets have in various different parts of their businesses with natural gas. A second group of reports we do are guidance reports, and these are guidance on emerging technologies. So we've got maybe a dozen reports on battery electric and hydrogen and so forth. It's more about how are we guiding the industry around the benefits and challenges of each of these. So, and then sometimes we do thought leadership reports. We've done those on things like, an increase in day cab hub and spoke freight. Finally, then, and probably the most important for us here in 2025 is our Run on Less series. So here in 2025, we are tackling the hardest group to decarbonize, and that's these long haul heavy trucks. When you get into long haul, many times they're the trucks moving around in different places, and they need truck stop fueling. With battery electric, they're going to need some sort of on the road fast charging for these trucks, and we don't have that at all today. And so, as we move up, so Run on Less Messy Middle, we're calling it. It's runonless.com. We are gathering up a number of fleets who are using all these alternatives. So we'll have 3 trucks running diesel-based vehicles. We'll have 3 in natural gas, 3 in battery electric, and 3 in fuel cell. Be announcing those fleets in the next couple of months, and then telling their stories throughout the summer and into September. So there, it's real world. It's real truck drivers driving these alternatives, fleets and maintenance people fixing them, and the folks getting the infrastructure to fuel them or charge them. All of that will be on runonless.com, and we'll have findings throughout the fall and into next year, 2026, on what we learned.
How can fleets choose the right powertrain tech?
Yeah, it's a great question. And so I always say it starts with knowing your business today. Because diesel was so flexible, we could get by running our fleets without as much data as we'll need going forward. So, use your telematics system to get data off your trucks. What are your miles per day? How often does it come home to a base? What's the time that it stays at a base or at a truck stop? Really understand what we call the duty cycles or use cases for not just a few of your trucks, but all of your trucks in the fleet. So understand the baseline and then become very educated on these different solutions. So, can I really buy them today or not? And some of these electric trucks and hydrogen trucks just simply aren't ready from the OEMs to go buy them. So in a case like that, a fleet would say, okay, I really believe that my future is going to be battery electric trucks, but I can't get them today. So let me go purchase diesel trucks, or maybe I can utilize biodiesel, renewable diesel over the next few years, get as efficient as possible, train my drivers, incentivize the drivers, buy aerodynamics, buy other technologies that we have confidence reports on, or you can learn from your OEM or others, and become as efficient as possible until that battery electric becomes available to you, or maybe it's hydrogen. So I think there's what's the best solution that's out there for me now? Is it available for me now? And if it's not, continue to get better with the fuel you're using, the technology you're using now, and then when it's the appropriate time, then move quickly to the best alternative.
All right, Mike, thank you for talking with me today.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. This is it's a messy world we're in. We didn't really choose to be in the mess, but there's a lot of alternatives like that we've discussed, and you can see on our websites to help navigate it.